Hello replay viewers, welcome back. Let me just get this situated on its stand. There we go. Gotta get your customary shot of my pencil holder. Welcome to the chat. So I have made it back to my desk. Yay! A couple hours ago I had a chat at an outside location here at a Starbucks, just a few miles down the road from where I'm at. But however, I have made it back home. So here I am. We are continuing on with the chats. If you are new, I always go over in the very beginning for the replay viewers what it is that I'm doing and what the title's about. So I always like to do that just because usually people don't jump immediately in. I don't have enough of a base to jump straight in as soon as I turn on the camera. And believe me, that's more of a blessing than a burden. I've watched some very popular scopers, and they can't really get that first part out just because people jump in so quickly. So I'm enjoying this pleasure as I can. What it is that I'm doing is I'm going to be traveling to Europe in just 9 days' time, and I plan on taking you guys with me. I can't really call it a scope trip because I'm not there only for scoping. I'll be entertaining family, particularly my in-laws. However, I have been there a couple times. And my purpose of going and sharing it with you guys on Periscope is because there are scopers in Italy and there are a few scopers in Germany, but there's not really a lot of English. And if there is, you really need to go into the chat and just see if they speak English. The titles aren't in English. So I really thought that it would be nice for you guys to be able to just kind of just slide on in, be comfortable with the situation, and to be able to ask questions and to be able to maybe guide the camera as you wish, you know, while we're scoping. So I thought that would be nice to be able to bring some English to the channel in Germany and Italy, and I also thought it'd be nice to share an outsider's perspective. As I like to mention in some of my other scopes, you know, leading up to this trip, it's different when you're an outsider. If you live locally, you see it from a different view. For example, I live in a beach town. That beach is not as amazing to me as it would be to you when you visit. And that's just because I'm there, and I've been frustrated by tourism in the past, and I've seen it, and I've been there when there's hurricanes and there's red tides, and you know, I live with it on a daily basis, so it's just not as appealing, you know, to me. But from an outsider's perspective, I'm sure, you know, it's one of the most popular tourist destinations in southern United States. So I'm really hoping to bring that perspective to these locations. As the title states, I am landing in Germany in 9 days' time. I will start scoping in Germany. I'm trying to guarantee 3 scopes a day, and I will drive. I'll have a road trip. I will drive from Stuttgart, Germany, which is in Baden-Württemberg in southwest Germany. I will drive all the way to Rome. Along the way, I will stop in Switzerland in the Swiss Alps. I will scope that. I will stop in Milan, Italy for a few days. I will scope Milan. And on the way up, I'm going to stop in Verona, Italy, and I'll scope that. It'll be the second half of the trip where I'll do most of my Germany scoping. I should be able to guarantee Stuttgart, Germany, and Heidelberg, Germany, both of which are in Baden-Württemberg. These chats have been going on for about 2 weeks now. Usually, it's kind of amazing. I've actually been able to meet a lot of people from Europe. I really expected that a lot of Americans would jump in based off the title. That just simply hasn't been the case. So I have been able to meet a lot of locals over there. I've met Romans. I've met people from Sicily. I've met people from Vernazia, I think is the name of the place. I've met people from Barcelona. Earlier today, I just met someone from Barcelona. I met somebody from Norway. So these chats usually have some people from Europe that are able to help give me some insight based off of you know, what to expect when I'm there and what would be interesting. From, of course, the people that are from Rome and the people that are from the places that I'm going, I like to get a local's perspective. I've been able to get some suggestions thus far that I should be able to accommodate some of those suggestions. So that's a general gist of what it is that I'm doing. I hopefully kept it under 5 minutes. That's what I usually try to do for the new replay viewers. And it's with that I always share my contact information at the beginning of these chats, just because if you're a replay viewer, there's no guarantee that that there's going to be chat for the rest of the time. I have only had one. This is number 16, I believe, in 2 weeks. I've only had one chat that really ended with no discussion. So if you're a replay viewer on that particular scope, it would have been not worth your investment. But there was just the one and the only. So hopefully this is not going to be number 2. So it takes to get some people in the chat sometimes, but I've only left it lonely just once. So I will stay on for about 10 or 15 minutes. The reason I share my contact information now is because this is all the investment you need to do. If you're interested in that trip, just hit the follow button. If you have an opinion about that trip, just get a hold of me on Twitter or Instagram. My About Me page has all of this information and some links to some of my social media. So that's your one-stop shop for everything. You'll notice that I still have my catch on my profile. That is due to the fact that while you still can go to catch until May 4th, I don't know if you know, they'll stop catching videos tomorrow, and then they will completely shut down catch on May 4th. While you still have catch, I'd like for you to see the comments and for you to see the hearts. It is possible to get my videos onto YouTube with the comments and hearts through the use of QuickTime. However, that has not been a practice for me up to this point. This is going to have to be something I'm going to have to start incorporating. So I would love for you guys to see, the chats in real time while they're still available. So I'll leave that on my contact information up until they pull the videos on the 4th. In the meantime, I am in the process of moving everything to YouTube. So hopefully there'll be another provider that will be able to I guess replace catch as far as saving my videos with hearts and comments. But I will look to put especially the ones that are on the trip. I'll put them on YouTube with comments. So that information's right there in that list, and it's also on my About Me page. So if you want to just jump over to my YouTube, you can do that. But the migration process does take a couple days, so my videos are not on YouTube yet. I only have 2 videos on YouTube. Those are the first 2 videos for this trip, which would be in Miami, Florida. So that's about all the overview I can give. There is a lengthy overview. It gives all of the details about why I think it is that it's important for me to go and important for me to share. That video is, I think, about 30 minutes long. There was some chat in it. However, I was really focused on just giving all of the information that I possibly could in what I would call like a FAQ sort of session, to where I could just answer any questions you may have about the trip in a lengthier format. So if you are so interested in the trip to Europe, you can actually go to my catch still and find that lengthier video with the description. It's just called Europe Trip Overview. So that's how that is. In the meantime, right now it is 24 to 8. No, I'm sorry, it's 2 a.m. It is 2 a.m. in Europe. So, as I said before, amazingly enough, there are mostly Europeans in the chats. This time of day, this really 5 to 9 p.m. range has been the lull as far as chats go. However, if you're new to scoping, you'll learn very quickly that you're not going to find somebody if you don't turn the camera on. So it's really, this chat's for the locals. So for local U.S. natives. So I'll share. Usually I'm in front of my computer, so usually I would look up some points of interest and share them. That's getting kind of old and mundane. It's a little better when there are people that are interested in giving suggestions and me look them up. So I can share what suggestions I've had so far as we reach about the 10-minute mark. So far, Rome, the Euro District, EUR, that's a local suggestion that was given to me. According to the person that gave it to me, he says that this is the beauty of Rome to a local, and that might be a place that I would love to share with you guys. I've actually been there on pure accident. I was actually going to an Apple store. I just did not know where it was that I was standing, I suppose. So I got off the metro. I walked my 2 miles to my Apple store. I got back on the metro. So I wasn't really aware of the true beauty. Welcome 123. This is just an open chat for people to have an opinion about what it is that I'm going to show them in Rome in just 2 weeks' time. I know the title says I will land in Germany and go to Italy. I will land in southwest Germany, and then I will drive to Rome. So if you have an interest in Rome, feel free to share your opinion. In the meantime, as you were coming in, I was sharing some updates. some updates based off of suggestions I've gotten from local Europeans. Another one that I got from a follower was the stadium in Milan. The FIFA stadium in Milan is supposed to be next to none. That's something that I did not see. I've actually been on this trip before. This is my third trip. That's something I did not see in my previous trip. So that may be very shareable. That's something that I could certainly bring to the viewers, and I know a lot of Europeans would appreciate it just because of the popularity of football, and maybe some Americans would be intrigued just because it's not a sport that we really put a lot of camp into here in the U.S. Other places, I may go to the New Stone Castle based off of a suggestion. Someone says that I'll be an hour and a half, I believe, from the New Stone Castle at the place that I will call home base. So I may go to that castle based off of that suggestion as well. So those are some of the main suggestions that stuck with me. I did meet someone from Switzerland, and they didn't really suggest me to stop somewhere. I will drive straight through Zurich on my way to Milan. They didn't really suggest anywhere for me to stop and eat. I was really hoping that they could give me like a nice local spot that I could get the essence of Switzerland in just a couple hours time through a meal. However, they did suggest a food that I should try, which is basically what we would call hash browns in the U.S. And apparently in Switzerland they take this very seriously. There's many kinds. If you'll excuse me just one moment. For the replay viewers, really, there's no one in the chat at the moment. All right. So that was a message. When there's no one in the chat, I'll talk to one person for an hour. I don't care. But when there's no one in the chat, I try to limit it to 15 minutes. I believe right now we're at 10. Just due to the fact that right now, really, I'm just talking to replay viewers. And that doesn't bother me. You'll know from my profile, I'm a teacher, so I can talk all day. And I'm used to students not paying attention, I suppose. Though I like to say that my classroom is very engaged and the students are always actively as a part of a discussion. That's a lie. When you have 140 students, even if I can engage 135 of those, there's always a couple that are not engaged. In one day's time. Obviously not at once. So, anyway, so I am talking to the replay viewers. Sorry as I make arrangements. Tonight is pizza night. Pizza night at my house. I will not scope it. This is my personal time. There is I follow someone kind of religiously here on Periscope, and he says 5% of my life is off Periscope, and that's the 5%. My pizza night is for me and myself and my family, and friends. So I will not scope pizza night. But maybe in the future I will scope some sort of cultural foods. Pizza night's I hold it close to me. I make the pizza by hand from scratch. So right now my dough is rising. So anyway, with me just talking to the replay viewers at the moment, this has kind of become the expectation at about in this time zone or in this time range, as I mentioned earlier. That's great. What will happen is this will go to the archive, and if someone enjoys the trip, if someone sees me in Rome, someone sees me in Milan, and they're interested in seeing what it took building up to that, then they're able to see this video in its entirety. So that's perfectly fine too. And secondly, I wouldn't turn on the camera if I didn't have something to share. So even though I have a repeat of these chats on a frequent basis, as I said, this is probably the 15th time. I'm still trying to promote, hey guys, I'm going to Europe. If you're interested, you need to tune in 9 days. And the more times you put that on someone's feed, or the more times you put a little blue dot on the map, the more possibility there is for someone to say, hey, there's this guy going to Europe. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to enjoy this. There's people that can't afford or don't want to or will never be able to go to Europe or go to Rome. So I do look forward to sharing that as a personal goal. I want to be able to bring the joy of Rome to people. So So I'm going to keep promoting that regardless of if someone's near talk away or not. And if you can't tell by now, I don't mind talking to me. So I'll talk all day. That's okay. I do have photos. I guess I could take this time to plug myself. On Instagram, I have what happened in recent times. You'll notice that my following on Periscope at the moment is low. I will tell you, those are hard earned. Those are hard earned. Those are through these chats. This following has happened. I started over with my social media not even a month ago, or a month and a half ago, and with that I wiped all the slate clean. So I started over with, I have a new Periscope account, a new Instagram account, I have everything. And that's just because of the same thing I was talking about before, that 5%. It was just, I wasn't too invested into some of the platforms yet, although I was very invested into, say, for example, Instagram. But I felt like it was a good time that if I wanted to share my travels, and if I wanted to talk about the other three things on my channel, being culture, coffee, and teaching, I really felt the need to separate public from private. To be honest with you, if you're on my channel to listen about coffee culture, to listen about regular people culture, or to listen about traveling, or occasionally hear about teaching, and the reason I bring up teaching as it relates to culture, then you don't want to see my family pictures, for example. Or I do have a private account on Periscope. On my other phone, I've logged into this account. If I wanted to share something with my family, I would share it on that channel. So if you want to see Pizza Night, the only chance of you ever seeing Pizza Night is on my other channel. It's just the way it is. I'm going to stick to these 4 things. You know what to expect from me. And I'm not going to bore you with my mundane life, my mundane family life. But on my Instagram, what I did do, I had the great joy of doing is, there's a little folder on your phones. And on my phone was some of my favorite photos from Instagram. My phone's been saving copies of Instagram photos for years, or however long they've been doing this feature. And in recent times, I deleted all the ones I didn't really want to keep, but kind of favorited maybe 50 or 60 of those, just from a couple years. And what I did was I actually reposted those on my new account. So you notice that the account's only like a month old, yet there's already 60 or 70 pictures from various places and from various times. That's just because I put my favorite pictures from my personal account to my public account. But the reason I bring that up is because you're able to see some of the things that I'll share with you in Germany, some of the things I'll share with you in Italy, and in maybe Switzerland. I took pictures in Switzerland that I may not be able to video because I don't know if I have signal there. But what you can see is some of the things that I've brought to my Instagram before, in a still format, and in some of the sites that I've been able to uncover as I travel along. I do wander around. I like to take the metro and just walk around. You can actually kind of get a feel for what it is that I'll be showing on Periscope during this trip. So I have reached my limit. I'm going to cut it off right here. This is for the replay viewers. If you're hearing this goodbye message, you're the best of the best on Periscope. There's nothing more. I love nothing more than to see a replay viewer follow me. That genuinely makes my day. Trust me, half of the follows I've gotten in the past 2 weeks have been from replays, if not more than half. So I appreciate you if you're listening to this goodbye message. I really do. I check all of my stats. After 24 hours, it doesn't tell you who watched the replay. I check them before 24 hours to know exactly who you are. And I watch those follows, and I rewatch this video to see if anybody hearted it, and I rewatch the comments. So I really do appreciate you guys that watch these videos, and I appreciate especially those guys that watch these videos and give me hearts. So it's a great thing, and I'm going to continue having these chats. They're going to happen forever and ever. Welcome, Plastic Princess. I was in the middle of a goodbye, unless you would love to chat about Rome. Just saying goodbye to the room, unless you want to talk about Rome. Plastic Princess said no. No, you did not open Bob, so I am leaving. So, I do have these chats. I have these chats often. If you're actually looking to have a chat that would that has locals in it, you got to catch a different time zone. Any of my chats that I've done between about 7 a.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. And noon Central Standard Time in the U.S., and actually today I scoped around 3 p.m. Central. And so let's just say between 7 and 3, you're usually going to find Europeans in the chat. These chats are just for Americans. So I will have these. I'll have these often. I'll have them all the way leading up to the trip, and I will continue to have open chats when I land in Germany, just because I'll be in a different place on the map, and it'll attract different viewers. So I will have open chats about Rome until I get to Rome, and then I'll still let people have an opinion when I have coffee time in Rome. So that's the expectation. Thank you again for watching so far. I plug my information at the beginning and the end because guess what? I watch Periscopes also, and sometimes what happens is I don't want to watch the whole video. I skip to the end to see how does this end, how does this end. So guess what? I get you at 5 minutes into the video, and then I get you at the end. So of course I will plug my information at the end. It's just a little bit of common sense because I know people skip around. So this is once more my information. I appreciate you if you're looking at this message. If you're looking right here at this, that's how you get a hold of me. Get on Twitter if you want to be a part of the discussion about what it is I see in Rome. You go to my Instagram and see some of those photos. I also have a Flickr account because of the high resolution photos. Of course, that's my Periscope name. I like to keep it there just because it is part of my contact. About Me has everything you ever need to know. If you're like, forget all the other stuff, just go to about.me/Joshua229. I do look forward to taking you guys to Europe. I think I will thoroughly enjoy it. I'm usually very high energy. I'm very, very, very interested in cultural aspects. I do not want to go as a tourist. I want to go as a traveler. So I look forward to taking you on the ground level and showing you the locals' view. I really, really hope that can happen. So, and that's the expectation. That's the bar I set for myself and the expectation I set for you. So I will talk about culture, I will talk about coffee, there will be other videos on my channel, namely my hometown where the beach is. At the moment though, what you will find is these open chats and these open chats, just because I'm focused on that trip and I'm focused on sharing that trip. Guys, you can share a replay video, you can share it on your Twitter, for example. So if you share this video with your friends, if you think it was something that will be worth their time, also, hit the follow button if you haven't already hit it. I look forward to seeing you in a live chat. Thank you for watching thus far. Have a great day.